21 Pilots and the Blue Door. This concept of a blue door isn't new to 21 Pilot fans. Sure, we're talking about it a lot more because the Icy Tour is using way more blue door imagery, but this concept of a blue door first got introduced to us back earlier this year with the first Clancy journal in years on March 17th. This is 03022 Moon 17, an excerpt from that journal. I remember that day vividly. First they let me out. Even though the hallway was still gray and drab, the new experience was a shock to my system, significantly different than usual captivity. I tried to match the rhythm of the Nameless Guard's footsteps as we echoed down the long corridor. I followed close behind as if I had no choice. Cold concrete encapsulates us and seems to cast a spell of synthetic calmness. Obedience. We arrived at a blue door. It was an odd contrast to this concrete maze. As I went through the door, I found myself in another typical gray Dema room. The only difference was who was waiting for me. 4 of them. 3 of them were unknown to me, but one was clearly Keon's. I recognized his voice. They proposed an idea, a television show, or whatever it was. I had no idea that I was known outside of my cell, but they informed me that I had garnered notoriety for my schemes and outbursts. They wanted to use my face for the benefit of the city. They handed me a pen, a familiar instrument, yet they must be present when I use it. They wanted to manage my imagination and vision. Although shackled, at least I could create again. Thus began the sessions. Every day my cell door would open. I would follow the guard down the familiar hall through the blue door to sit down at my desk in chair, my designated creative space, perfectly centered under their watchful eyes, sometimes 3, sometimes 8. Not once were all 9 present. He was never there. I would have felt if he was. At the end of the sessions, Keons would take my pen, gather my reins to send me back. This went on for months. That was the only time the blue door ever got brought up in any Clancy journal, and has never been brought up by the pilots on any form of social media since. We're months removed from the outside music video, or months removed from this journal, and we suddenly see the blue door come back into the forefront, being used for merch, the intro video, as well as the encore video for the pilots. What could this blue door mean? Why are we bringing it up now? Today we'll try to answer as many questions as we can, probably propose more questions, and overall try to demystify this blue door. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, depending on when you're watching this. How's it going, guys? First off, I hope you're having a good day today. Hope your day's going well and hope it continues to go well. Let's get right into it. Firstly, let's talk about where we are on the Dema timeline. I've seen people say that the events of the Icy Tour take place before the events of the Outside or a part 2 of the Takeover Tour. While, yes, this is technically a part 2 of the Takeover Tour, the Icy Tour takes place after the Outside, and you need to look no further than No Chances and this visual right here, because there are 8 bishops in this picture. If the Icy Tour took place before the Outside, then there would be 9 bishops there, because we see in the Outside music video, a bishop gets murdered to death, and oh look, there's 8 bishops. So we are taking place after the events of the Outside. Now, as far as Tyler and Josh in the snowy mountain tundra, that one's a bit harder to explain. My own personal theory, they managed to get their way back onto the main island, and they're trying to find their way back to Dema. Now, the only place where I could think of this snowy mountain range on the continent of Trench would be in this part of these cloudy mountains that are kind of close to Volksoy, that kind of separates Trench with Dema. So I think they could possibly be there in the snowy place, and the outfits are just there to keep them warm. As far as why the blue door is there, maybe they're hallucinating, because if you climb up high enough in the mountains, you can start to hallucinate, especially if it's been a long, long day with no rest. That's just my own personal theory. I'd love to know yours down in the comments section below. But now let's go ahead and actually talk about this blue door and why it's there and why they willingly go through this blue door. And we're going to start with a popular theory first, which is Lane Boy. Because remember what Tyler says in Lane Boy, my creativity is only free when I'm playing shows. This blue door, Tyler has been used to seeing. It's another symbol of Tyler's creativity. He knows anytime he walks through that blue door, I'm going to be creative. I have my pen. It's time to be creative. And during these live shows, Tyler is super creative, especially with the Icy Tour set list and what he's doing, such as mattress surfing back to A stage. Okay, Tyler. But he's being super creative. And really, this is the first tour he gets to be creative in quite a bit, because during the Takeover tour, Tyler was still under Dima rule. He was still being used as a Dima puppet, which is why there wasn't a lot of songs off of Trench. Now that he's free from Dima rule and he can be more creative, you hear a lot more songs from Trench. There are 7 songs from Trench in total in this mega set list full of many songs. So he certainly gets to be more creative by going through this blue door and bringing back some of their older songs along the way. And now let's go to something that a lot of 21 Pilot theorists focus on when Psy got released, which is feng shui. What does the blue door mean in terms of feng shui? Well, like green, the blue also represents the wood element, which also supports growth and new beginnings. That's really all I need to read in terms of the feng shui stuff there. I'm leaving this on the screen so you can read the rest there with regards to the different shades of blues. But really, this is the new beginning of the next era of the Pilots. They've left Dima. They have escaped Dima. They have broken the cycle. It is a new beginning. They are growing, and Tyler has grown as an artist, because in that every era medley definitely supports that, because you can hear how his vocal style has evolved and how much he has grown as vocalist. This is a new beginning for the Banditos when it's going to be the end of the Bishop's rule in Dima, most likely. I have a video about that theory as well, where it leads to a compromise. But it's a new beginning for Tyler. It's a new beginning of Josh. It's a new beginning of Ned. New beginning of Dima and the Banditos as a whole. And the blue door definitely is also perfect for new tour, new beginning, this new era of life that we're all living in a weird, weird world. And just from a quick Google search, you can also find that blue doors also represents prosperity and abundance, as well as relaxed and casual. So, just as a little fun aside, Tyler has based some of the Dima storyline stuff off of one of his favorite movies, The Truman Show. And I think it's funny, at the very end of The Truman Show, there's a blue door where he escapes and has a new beginning of himself, where he is out of the show. Just a fun little connection there. Let's talk about the idea of the blue door being a trap door. I talked about this on a little YouTube short a couple of days ago, but basically, the blue door is a trap door, just not in the medieval sense of you walk into a castle, you either fall below your feet where you weren't expecting it, or pull the lever, cronk, the floor falls beneath you into a spike pit or some sort of trap. The blue door isn't a trap door in that sense, but it's more of a theatrical trap door, where a lot of theaters will use it for quick changes, and that's certainly how Tyler used it at the very ends of the night for the encores. He falls backwards through the trap door and comes out with the skeleton suit and the jacket for heathens at the very end. So and I guess that is kind of like the song Trapdoor off of self-titled, because that's definitely the trapdoor it references, talking about some things that I'm not going to bring up on the channel because that can lead to demonetization. But just remember, you're loved, you're supported, you're cared for. I love you. Stay with us. You're amazing. If you need help, reach out to someone. That's trapdoor is about. It's about that dark thing. But so I guess you could tie it there, but this the trapdoor for the Isotor is definitely a bit more positive and leads to heathens and this skeleton suit thing. And we should probably take a look at the glaring thing that blue in 21 Pilots lore is also a symbol of defeat. Going through the blue door, does that mean you're defeated? I mean, we saw the pilots wear blue at festival shows and people freaked out because why would you wear blue? Blue is a symbol of defeat. Why would you do that? Well, my theory behind that one is that 21 Pilots are going to try to reclaim that color blue. They're trying to transform it, trying to redecorate it, if you will, into a symbol of something greater, maybe to evolution, maybe to the feng shui of new beginnings, of change, and that they are making it a positive rather than a negative. Blue will no longer mean defeat, it will only mean new. Because, I mean, when you're defeated anyway, only place you can go is up. It's a new beginning when you're technically defeated too. So, maybe that's what they're trying to do within the terms of the lore. So how do I explain the outfit change at the very end for the encore when Tyler falls through the trapdoor, changes into the skeleton hoodie, comes back up to do heathens and trees? That one's a bit harder, I want to say from exhaustion, because, I mean, Tyler, you see him, he just falls through the door and we see him in the next shot and he's just laying down in the snow, and the blue doors once again hovering over top of them, leading me towards maybe it was just like a hallucination thing as they're trying to escape, maybe thinking about their old lives before Dima, before all of this stuff has happened. That's just my own theory out there. Like I said, I would love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And that is just about everything I could think about at this given moment in regards to 21 Pilots and the blue door. Not bad for only getting 2.5 hours of sleep last night and coming off of this cold. But if you guys have any thoughts, I'd love to know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And let me know if you agree, let me know if you disagree. If you have any theories, like I said, leave them down in the comment section. Go ahead and make a thread on Twitter, on Discord, on Reddit. Go ahead and tag me at JLAndersonMusic on all social media. Don't DM me because I am bad with DMs, and odds are I will not respond unless they are for business purposes. But anyway, guys, yeah, that is it for today's video. I'll go ahead and see you tomorrow with something. I'm going to go take some NyQuil and go to bed because I'm tired. Yeah. Goodbye. And more importantly, have a good day, and I'll see you later.